Potty Break, and then also all right, and also we'll welcome up Regina Hoyles from NAPS. Come on up, Shistrin. How you doing? Welcome, nice to meet you as well. And last, we'd like to welcome up Yaki Smith from the beginning and ending of everything. Brother. Thank you guys for being here and showing your incredible work. Also, shout out to Deja, who did, I think it's Deja Hoyles is her name. She was with Open TV. She did the first one, which was called Seeds. Thank you all for being here and representing your work. The first thing that I would love for all of you to do is tell us what brought you into your creative journey of creating content. And that's a question for everybody.
Okay, I'll start. I started creating content because I grew up in Harlem. It was pretty dangerous. Yes. Okay. It was pretty dangerous in my neighborhood, so my mom made us watch movies all day so we didn't go outside. So I just wanted to be like Spike Lee. And I used to watch a lot of Alfred Hitchcock, but I wanted to be like Spike Lee, so that was really what started my journey.
That's what's up. And yourself, Regina?
For me, creating content really just came from a want to not have to wait on anybody else to say yes to me and say yes to myself, and everybody around me who I knew had the talent, had the drive, and was hungry enough to just get right to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get these bags.
Exactly. Let's get these bags. Shout out to getting these bags. All right, Yaki.
You know, I started making films on 15, and my goal then, my goal now is really to put the stories of people whose stories have been stolen from them, mainly by white creators, to put those stories on screen with authenticity, with truth, and give those people the ability to really tell the stories from their perspective. Because for so long we had watched our stories, hijacked. We had watched our people really be sort of stereotyped in cinema and not really, again, giving their due. So my goal was always to just give people their due. And it's not about telling good stories, bad stories. It's about telling true and authentic stories that have complexity. And so that's what I do.
Right. Well, definitely, Spaceport Creators celebrates all of you and your contributions. It's nice to see that we as African American content creators are not monolithic. So it's nice to see that you all approach storytelling from various places and standpoints. You were a little ratchet, which I love. Yours came through the lens of hair, and yours came through the lens of the incarceration system. And the other young lady came from the lens of being queer and a black woman, which I think is all, four dynamic different perspectives. But one thing that I found interesting was kind of what I would think would be the thesis of this conversation, that I think that's your wife, gave that monologue at the very end of your piece. Yes, I think the last statement she said was, are you willing to pay the price, right? So I would love to know, I'm gonna start with you, Regina, what have you had to give up for this dream?
A lot of money. That has been a big sacrifice. I feel like expectations as well, like you kind of have to be able to go into it in the dark. Sometimes you're really just putting one foot in front of the other, hoping that you like step on land, and I feel like just really trusting myself and trusting the process, that whatever is supposed to be on the screen at the end of the day will be on that screen, and really saying yes to myself in every way possible, not limiting myself. As far as other things I had to give up, like again on the idea of expectations, like I feel like one of my traps is feeling like I'm gonna get me from everybody else, yes, if you know what I mean, and that's not always going to be the case. And just learning how to, set boundaries, both personally and professionally, has been a huge learning experience for me on this filmmaking journey. Just learning about what works for you and who, not works for you, but with you in the best ways possible. So learning to give up just any idea in my head of what it has to be, because it's probably going to change. So, yeah.
Right. And you spoke about trusting, the trust that's needed for this. in order for you to put your content on a platform like a Space for Creators, there has to be something about the platform that you trust in order to do that. So what did you trust about the Space for Creators that you said you can have my creative contribution?
So I met Damien actually at a house party,
Lit.
a Golden Globes screening party in Harlem.
Lit.
And I found out as we were making jokes at the broadcast that he worked at a company that was acquiring web series. So the host of the party told him about Potty Break because they had actually screened it at their Christmas party. But what I liked about Damien in particular is that he's very outspoken and honest. And I think I'm kind of drawn to people that are kind of like bad, like not bad, but you know what I mean? Like just, I'm drawn to very outspoken people that might come off offensive, but I just feel like those are the most honest people. So that really drew me to him personally, and that was important for me to trust the person because I know that he'll speak his honest mind. And then when I went to meet with them before I made the decision, I just liked what they stood for, and him and Alexis, they both understood the audience really well. So I felt like it was a safe place.
Yeah, one thing that I've noticed about Alexis and the platform in general is that it's very strategic. You know, and I know part of the strategy with us making content is we knowing where it's going to go. And so, Yaki, when thinking about the beginning and the ending of everything, did you consider where it would go when you created it, or did you just create purely from the heart?
You know, it's interesting because, yeah, of course you think about where it's going to go. However, at some point you just got to create it anyway, you know, because you never know where it's going to land, right? You know, you make a web series and you throw it out to all these places and you just try to figure out where it's going to stick. And also you try to figure out the place that's going to actually maximize the audience for it, you know. And back to the question, it's like, for me, the thing that attracted me to Space for Creators is one, I just love this whole notion of screening our work for our people, you know, because a lot of times you give your work to platforms and they don't care for it because they don't understand it, so they don't know what to do with it. They don't even know how to promote it. They don't know how to get it to the audience. They don't know how to market it. They don't know any of that because they don't understand your voice and they don't understand your unique perspective. And I feel like the Space for Creators gets that. They understand that we're making content for a very specific audience, and they know how to get that content to that audience, and they treat us well, right? And that's the thing, you know, you want your content treated with care because it takes a lot to make it. You know, we start talking about what sacrifices you make. Sacrifice every day, literally. And then when you have a place that doesn't really care for that and doesn't respect the work that you put into it, it feels like a slap in your face. You know, I walked away from a lot, you know, maybe even more money at times because I did not like the way that you were going to care for my project. And sometimes the care is more than the money. And so I adore this platform and I adore what they're doing because, again, it's a place for us, for our stories, and for our people. And we need that.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Shifting the narrative of how blacks have been seen, I think, is indicative of the work that you all are doing.
That was very important.
Absolutely. And why was that so important for you?
Because I just have an issue with, I feel like black women, right? And it sucks because when I talk about, so sometimes people look at me and like they have actually come up to me and say like, are you really black, right? Which is offensive, but I'm very black. But I feel like a lot of times black women, you know, we carry so many burdens and because we're always so dogged in so many different ways that we always try to put on an air of perfection. Like even code switching, which is, we laugh about it, but it's actually, that's kind of a problem.
It's traumatic.
Because it's like, I'm just tired of us feeling like we can't be our authentic selves. Like we fucking run this shit. Like, I mean, seriously, like culture, music, dance, slang, hairstyles. If I get one more email from some corporate company talking about, oh, look at our new style, it's lit.
Talk about it.
All of our slang, like you have no reason to walk around here insecure and feel like you have to like acquiesce to the ways of the oppressor when they're kind of trying to be like us. Because everybody wants to be cool.
Yes.
So when I created Potty Break, I was just like, you know what, I just want them to be.
Yes.
So you're gonna see farting, throwing up, just things like, you guys didn't get to see the end of this, but
You know what,
it's a little more, they're going to probably show it.
This is what I was going to ask the audience for, because we all know what it's like as content creators. We've been there before, technical difficulties. Can we all make a promise to each other that this evening we'll go check out a Space for Creators and we'll all watch the first episode?
But I think they're going to show it again.
They're going to show it again?
Yeah.
Okay,
They're gonna try
okay.
again.
Okay, that's what y'all going to do?
Yeah.
Okay, I got an affirmative yes. Okay, I'm just making sure, because I know what that's like. I just came from a screening and it didn't go well.
It's a 5-minute episode. We're going to do that again.
You gonna watch that?
This is the remix.
But yeah, for me, it's important for us to just come out. Like, you know what I mean? We're always fucking burdened. You know what I mean? It's like we should be able to be free and play.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to cry up here.
It's good.
But,
You good. You good.
But that was very important. That was the reason why I made this.
I got you.
Because I want us to just be represented in a different way. And when I met Alexis, and we spoke about that, and she was just telling me, like, yeah, people in the South will look at this and think they hoes. And I'm like, really? Like, that was foreign to me.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, two people in the bathroom together? And I was like, I thought that was normal. But it's just like, but it's like we have all these rules, right? Don't we have a lot of rules? Like, don't put your feet on the couch. Don't sit on the counter. Don't do this. Don't do this. It's just like,
And speaking of rules, one rule that we as a black community have is you have to have your hair together. Period. Point blank.
I don't always.
So for this sister to walk into this NYU party with her hair looking a hot mess, I just want to talk about why you decided to use black hair. I think you know how big that is in our community.
Yeah, I mean, it was very much based in reality. Like in my college experience, I was coming into my own as far as my natural hair. You know, it's a lot, y'all. That's why it's braided up now. But like learning about my own hair was such a whole like endeavor. So while I'm learning myself, I have in a predominantly white school, I have a lot of people around me who are just fascinated that I go from like almost bald headed to I'm down here the next day. And so just that experience just really harped in my mind. And I genuinely, the idea came from me thinking like, what if there was a series where every episode was titled something after something in the black hair care community, and it mimicked whatever she was going through in real life. So this first one was called synthetic weave, synthetic wig. And like, it's kind of how she's moving a little synthetically in spaces that she doesn't exactly fit in, but she feels like she has to go to, because everyone loves a networking event. And then like the next episode is called Tenderheaded, because it means like your head hurts probably more than the average person when someone's doing it. So I wanted it to be mirrored as things happen to her as a black woman in the real world in ways that don't always affect other people the exact same way. And so that's really where that came from my own experience with my black hair and just wanting to make it about just a normal black woman living her life. Like, I love black normalcy, like in the kind of like, let's revel in us just being, because we always have to be that other thing or that extra thing, I feel like, as black people and as minorities, period. So yeah, just normalcy and wanting to incorporate.
Is my
Same. Just, I love it.
It's lit.
Yeah, that's Potty Break. Potty Break, check it out. I Space for Creators. But yeah.
I love that, and I love that approach, and to use it in a metaphorical sense, I think is really, really smart. Speaking of the Space for Creators that she was talking about earlier, how has being a part of this platform benefited you?
I mean, it's been for me a lot. It's got eyes on my series. I mean, we shot this 2 years ago and put it out, and we had a little audience, a little following and whatnot.
You had a good run.
I did have.
Because we were in some film festivals together.
But ultimately, I think being online on this platform sort of has changed the game in a way, because now I'm getting emails, I'm getting tweets, I'm getting all these things because people are now taking notice of the project in a way that they didn't take notice of. I think people don't understand. With us, I was in film school 15 years ago, and
what?
I'm old. And the way you promoted the thing is right. You get in the film festival circuit, you do your thing, but things have changed, right? It's not all about that. And I can play a million festivals, but the truth of the matter is being on this platform and getting eyes on the project, that means more than anything. That holds more currency. And so, just being on this platform has really, really helped me and get more eyes on the project and get more interest in me as a creator beyond this particular project.
Absolutely. And Regina, one question I wanted to ask, because I think we may actually have some content creators in the audience as well. There's a certain level that you have to get your work to in order to get on a Space for Creators. Can you talk about some of those things that maybe within the contract that you didn't know you would have to do, or were you totally prepared to send your work straight to space when you got there?
That's a great question. In order to go on, just because Naps was my first web series, my first like large filmmaking undertaking, and I was doing a lot by myself. I was running up my attorney fees, so I'm like trying to avoid her and him, like trying to do some things on my own. Honestly, one of the biggest things that's coming to mind right now is get a music supervisor, just so they can take care of all the licensing. For me was easy, but the cue sheets and all of that, and making sure that things are solid with that. There's just a lot of people. I'm realizing now that you don't have to do it all by yourself. Like, there are specific people for a lot of these specific jobs. Like, even into producing, there's specific people to line produce to form a budget. You don't have to do that. And so I feel like I came as prepared as I could with what resources I took from NYU, like where I actually graduated. But I feel like in a lot of the business of it, I was kind of learning as I go, because Google is free and available, and YouTube is also free and available. And so I was honestly looking up a lot of these things, like contract-wise. I will say, I think I did send the contract to my attorney just to give it a quick pass, but I'm like, don't spend no crazy work on it, because I can't afford you anymore. But aside from that, I learned basically to delegate a little more in it, so I'm not trying to do too much that I don't understand,
I understand, and I think that an attorney is an important part that we're afraid of, but that we absolutely need. One thing that I know happened for me is if you go to some of the bigger attorneys, and you may not believe this at all, my attorney has 34 floors, and I cannot afford them. But what happened was, I went to them, and they have a pro bono program. So a lot of times, if your work has any type of social justice, and you can always flip it, right? So you could flip potty mouth into like potty break into like sex trafficking. You know what I mean? People like, it's like these two sex trafficked girls, because nobody's gonna watch our content in those buildings. But you go to them and tell them that you have something that's social justice related, and if they can get like 20 or 30 pro bono hours, and a lot of times they're looking for projects specifically to do that. So a lot of creators don't know that, but that is a resource that you can absolutely use, and they have the time, and it's billable in a different and wonderful way, which means I'm probably gonna lose my deal today. But anyhow, we won't tell anybody. Please do not say anything, brother. Y'all take that live stream down. So this is what I want to do, all right? So I want to make this a little bit more interactive from you guys to them, okay? Let's see if this is going good in my head, but let's see if it goes great here, all right? So we're going to set them up as the experts, but you guys are the creators, all right? So we're going to make a web series. I'm going to give you the parameters. We only have $3,000, all right? So our web series main character is who? A janitor?
Oh, you mean their role?
Yeah, like what do they do?
They're a
Computer analyst. A computer analyst that's trying to do what?
trying to expose corruption in the government.
Expose corruption in the government, and the goal is to do what?
Bring down the U.S. government.
No, we have $3,000. Let's not go too deep. Their goal is to do what? To bring down the U.S. government. All right. So with $3,000, computer analyst who is what? Trying to expose corruption and bring down the U.S. government. How many episodes can they do with $3,000? You answer the first question.
I mean, I need more story.
That's all.
Like, does this computer analyst, is he just sitting in his bedroom like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this? Like, it depends.
How many episodes?
So if he's shooting it in his bedroom and
Okay,
he's like,
so we're going one location.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. He can do like for $3,000. I mean, it depends if is he getting favors?
You got $3,000.
If I got if I have $3,000, me myself personally, I'm going to Craigslist and getting some crew together. I'm gonna get a really good DP that I know.
I just need number of episodes.
Hold on. I have to calculate. I'm not gonna just throw something out. I'm a Virgo.
That's right.
Okay. So I can get out of $3,000 at least 5.
All right. So we got 5 episodes with this incredible series that we made for $3,000. All right? So we have a choice now. You have a question. Well, that's where we were going next. All right, that's where we're headed next. All
So
right.
if I got 5, I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
tell you.
hold on. We're gonna throw it. We're gonna kick it back to the audience. We're gonna kick it back to the audience. All right. So we have 5 episodes now. We have $3,000. How many locations are we going to do this web series in? One location. We're gonna do the whole thing in one location. How many actors are we gonna get? We can't get that deep. This is just a space for creators, which is good. But let's say we have. Let's just say we have $3,000.
You can do non-union.
Let's say $3,000.
You just
All right.
Which means nobody's getting paid.
So let's do this. All right. Which means nobody's getting paid. All right. So we have 5 episodes of a series that we did in 2 actors. We have 1 location, and it's brilliant. All right. It's brilliant, but it's not ready. Regina, do you send that not ready episode to Sundance, or do you wait till it's ready to send it to ABFF?
You guys, what does not ready mean? What you mean it's not ready? It's
Just
not
say it's
colored.
not-
It's
y'all
not
getting too
sound
deep.
edited.
Come on now, lady. Y'all
But these
getting
are
too-
important questions because, like, right,
It's not edited how you want it.
right. Is it a lack of production
All right,
quality?
let me take control. I done lost control.
Because we confused.
We are streaming live. When I point to you, you speak back to me.
Oh my
All
God.
right? All the information that we have is what we have. So we're gonna make the best decision with what we have.
Well, I don't.
We have a brilliant 5 episodes. All right? Brilliant 5 episodes.
All right.
Brilliant actors.
Okay.
Everything's brilliant.
Okay.
It's just not edited to the level that you want. Do you send it to Sundance unfinished, or do you hold off and send it to ABFF finished?
Wait, wait,
We
okay.
got about 3 months between
American
those
Black
2
Film
deadlines.
Festival.
Okay, no, yes. I'm trying to say, so you said it's not edited at the level you wanted.
It's not ready for people
So
to
the
see it.
Sundance submission deadline is first.
Right.
In August.
And you just, well, I would say, wait, real quick. Is the cut finalized? Is it, the picture's locked?
No,
Is the picture?
it's just not.
Oh, well, then no.
Then no.
No, don't submit to Sundance because like they accept like rough versions if you
Right.
need to fix the sound or the color. But if you're literally working on story, you can't be like, oh, by the way, I got a new updated version.
Right.
That's not how that works. I would save the fee, and if not, go ahead and keep on working. ABFF will welcome you with open arms.
Right.
You
I would do
know.
the same.
Yeah.
So you waited, you got into ABFF if you won ABFF. And you get 2 offers, okay? You get an offer from HBO for $200, and then you get an offer from Space for Creators for $20,000. Which deal do you take?
I'm not asking.
I'm-
Jackie, answer the question. What deal do you take?
I actually.
All right, okay. So HBO's offering me what?
$200.
So, where is it gonna go?
Right.
Where is it gonna be on HBO Go?
Is it
gonna have
exclusive?
prime time, like platform?
All the information that we have is the information that's been given.
Okay, well with that, that's not enough information.
And that's not realistic.
But if you're telling me that HBO,
Hold on, let's let him answer.
yeah, that's hard, man.
Right.
Put it where?
Right.
And do what?
Well, I'm just speaking from this perspective, right? So a lot of times as creators, we're going to get choices that we have to make.
I got it.
Sometimes we're going to get platforms that are not going to give you a lot of money. Then other times you're going to give smaller platforms that don't have as much reach, but actually may give you some money, or vice versa. And I'm saying with the product that you have, that you're brilliant, that you feel comfortable about, what route should a filmmaker take with the project that we've all made as a team?
It actually depends on the end goal of your project. Because each project is different, right? I mean, if I know that at this moment it's all about the audience reach, I understand that Space for Creators has this amount of reach, HBO might have more reach, then I might need to go to HBO because I'm thinking about the reach. But if in this moment I say, wait, but Space for Creators can actually reach the audience that I want to reach to. A Space for Creators can market it the way that I want to
And that's a beautiful thing that I was really trying to allude to is that you have to sometimes decide in the very beginning what you want, because I think sometimes what happens with creators is it kind of happens willy-nilly like we did it, and then you end up with all these decisions and you don't know which way you want to go. So a lot of times when you make the decision and choice in the very beginning, it helps you make an easier outcome in the end, although we can't necessarily determine that outcome.
You're so right, and it's hard because, like, on one hand, what you're saying is true, right? But even that requires taking some of your already sort of budget just for the production and putting it already into the distribution and the marketing and already figuring that stuff out in the beginning. And then sometimes the production suffers because of it. Versus if you throw everything into the production, then on the back end, then maybe you can figure that thing out. But then you're right, then you start making willy-nilly decisions because you hadn't really thought it out. And I always say this: I'm always thinking about, okay, what is the end goal? What do I want to do with this? Where do I want it to land? And I am producing based upon that goal. It doesn't mean that it's not going to change because ultimately you may want it at this festival or on this platform, and they may say, no, we're not putting it on there. So then you then have to change the strategy and the way in which you approach the content in terms of distribution. So I think you should think it out, but you should also be flexible because we already know that we don't always get what we want. And sometimes we gotta take what comes our way.
Well, the one thing that I noticed, in just from what I've seen today, is all of you created from various perspectives, but you all ended up right where you were supposed to be. And I think a Space Creators is a wonderful platform. I think even if you guys build amongst yourselves, the possibilities are endless. We have about 5 to 10 minutes for any questions that the audience may have about the creative process from any of these wonderful creators.
It's not so much the creative process. This young man here, before, like early days, was saying like, my project was a lot, so I'm not just letting anyone get it or get out there. But then kind of came back and counter, like what I was thinking, was saying like, sometimes you gotta just let it go. You know what I'm saying? So that's my perspective. Sometimes you get in demand, get it out there. Just get it. Sometimes you have to take a loss sometimes. But the thing is exposure. Because after the exposure and the demand comes, then you can lay down your laws, what you do. Sometimes you gotta let it go. And it's just even our babies, sometimes I think. And it feels like, oh, hold on to this because I don't want control. But sometimes you gotta, but then you came back and kind of,
But again, I don't think all exposure is good exposure.
true.
Because if you throw your stuff out there to the wrong people, that can be real and destroy your career. Because they haven't cared for your baby the way in which you want them to care for it. But I can get you sometimes, and this is something that I've learned along the way. There are sacrifices that have to be made, and you have to ask yourself the question: what am I willing to give up in order to get what I want? And if somebody is allowing you to put your stuff out there, and you're willing to give up those things, then you give them up because ultimately you know that it's going to serve the greater good. But if somebody is trying to take your content and do all kinds of weird stuff with it, and ultimately in the end, it's not even your content anymore, then you don't want to do that to yourself.
Yeah, but
Can I piggyback on that?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The reality is that you can't always necessarily control that outcome. But from a woman's perspective, Toni, how would you?
I want to piggyback on what you just said. Sometimes you have a vision and a goal for your project, and an offer will come, but it's not the right offer, and you can't just settle. You can't just. Sometimes it's a test, and you're always going to be tested. Are you going to really wait for what you really wanted and you know what you deserve, or are you going to go for the first thing coming? It's like a marriage, a date, like, you know what I mean? So I just think that you do have to kind of just be true to what your intentions are in the beginning before you make a decision.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? I think that's what you did with Queen Esther.
Yeah, yep. I
Yeah.
stay true to my intentions, and I wanted somebody that's gonna take care
And
of
then
my
you
life.
got a great platform
Yep.
because you had offers from different people, but you
Yeah.
went with a platform that had the audience and like promoted it. Like I saw it everywhere. I posted it, right?
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
And I just met you today.
Oh, it's lit.
But it's a dope project.
Thank you.
But you stayed true to your vision and didn't settle. So I mean, yeah, that's what I have
But
to
can I just
say.
say something about that? I think you're so right. But on the flip side of that, there are moments, I'm gonna go through my story, but like with a feature, I had a certain deal that I didn't dig, and I didn't take that deal. And ultimately, 2 years later, I look back and say, I wish I had taken that deal because it was actually the best deal. But I held out because for me, I said no, it's something else. And then I had to turn back around and be okay with the fact that I let that deal go by because I wanted something much larger, right?
But that's the
And be cool with that. That's
but
the thing. And
that's
be
the
cool with that decision.
but that's the beauty, is that that was what your journey dictated for you, right? And you learned the lesson that you needed to learn. And I think it's beautiful. Are there any other questions for the creators?
I was going to add to that too. I think a lot of times you talk about being content creators, it's in parallel with artists, right? Like you think like music, us as independent creators, we're very much like independent artists. So if you're an independent artist trying to build your career, and the way we talk about record deals and distribution deals and things like that, there's so many parallels in that. That then, if you're a young creator anywhere in the country, right, wherever you're at, you take that concept and you say your project is like your album or that first project you put out. You're building it with the goal of staying true to yourself, building that credibility, being consistent, building those things up to where you can create the leverage to be able to down the road know what deals are good for you and what's not. Because the wealth of the project is usually in the distribution, the exposure, the product, how people you can sell it to. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to like, do you see yourself as the enterprise, like as the person who this project is building on, like a full scope of projects? Or are you looking at it like this one thing is everything that I'm banking on and my future and what I'm capable of making is in this? Or are you seeing it as the long goal and you're really trying to build a career and like be able to have leverage to build your own and have your own distribution and really be able to, like capitalize and make money off of that? It seems like it can get too caught up in like this deal and this platform and this money and this thing and that. It's like, what are you ultimately trying to, you talk about the end goal, like what are you really trying to build at the end of the day? And if you're clear on that, then you can build it. Like, this could be HBO or Netflix, but I know where I'm at right now.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. I know we've run out of time, but I know you got a brilliant question in your heart, and you can ask me downstairs over a brew.
But the whole room needs to hear it.
Yes,
They will hear it later.
they will, and I love that. But what I do want to say is,